Two Geeks, Two Beers and a Laptop. Episode 1, Terrahawks.
Expect the unexpected.
Yes, sir.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the very first episode of Two Geeks, Two Beers and a Laptop, a podcast that aims to take random journeys into the obscure, the bizarre and classic TV shows, films, music, just about any pop culture type things, really. I'm Tom, and with me is Morgan.
Hello.
We're both housemates and work colleagues, and we found that we both love a variety of iconic and culty stuff, would you say?
I'd say that's fair, yeah.
And we also find that we might be massive fans of things that the other one isn't, so we're using this as kind of educatory tool for everything from Never Say Never Again to The Animals of Farthing Wood, so anything.
Yeah.
And we'll no doubt go off on some random tangents and connections along the way with the help of Wikipedia and beer. So we're starting today with Terrahawks. Mm-hmm. What do you know about Terrahawks?
See, I know very little about Terrahawks, which is weird because I'm a massive fan of Gerry Anderson and all his shows. So everything from Stingray to Captain Scarlet. Captain Scarlet's my favourite, I think, and Thunderbirds. But then even the sort of slightly more obscure stuff like Space 1999, the live action stuff, UFO, even Space Precinct. I remember I used to watch that when I was a kid. For some reason, Terrahawks has completely passed me by.
So I think for some reason, someone's made it so that Terrahawks is the only one I do know enough about.
Right.
Because the others I don't know really anything
Which
about.
is why in this first episode you're kind of going to be educating me on this gap in my knowledge.
So I'm only really aware of Terrahawks because we had a VHS tape in our house. I don't know where it came from, but it had about 4 episodes and it was just amazing. And it was very, very 80s. It's pretty much Thunderbirds in space.
Yeah, I've seen clips, and it's slightly the puppet work is slightly more evolved than in saying like Thunderbirds or even like Captain Scarlet.
Yeah. Well, he called it. Was it before? It was what, Super Mario?
Super Marionation is the very grand nonsense term for the kind of the 60s era puppet work. Yeah.
Whereas this is Super Macromation,
right?
Which is like apparently electronic marionettes.
Okay.
Compared to, I don't know. Was it more Muppet style?
It was all like just on kind of on strings and stuff, and then like so you could move the arms and the head and that kind of thing, but the sort of facial movements were very limited. And from what I've seen of Terrahawks, just kind of the clips I've seen, it seems a little more sophisticated in that way.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, I think this was Gerry Anderson's last puppet show as well. Wasn't it? I think, and it was set in 2020, so we're nearly there. And it's about a task force that was set to protect Earth from androids and aliens is the brief.
And this is how little I know. Terrahawks is the organisation. Those are the heroes.
So they're an alien force destroyed NASA's Mars base, and Earth is under threat. And the Terrahawks, just a few people, just a few of them. There's about 6 or 7 of them defending the planet from Hawk Nest, which is a secret base in South America. It was kind of not as serious as Thunderbirds and say Captain Scarlet could be. It had serious elements, but most of it was pretty comedic most of the time. It was led by Dr. Tiger Ninestein.
Which is an amazing name. I remember you telling me that name the first time. It's incredible.
Or John Inverdale. Whenever you see John Inverdale do BBC Sport or whatever, it's just, that's what he looks like. If you want to have an idea. Real first name unknown, apparently.
So his real name is not Tiger Ninestein, that's a code.
Tiger in thingies.
Right.
So named because he is the 9th clone, created by Dr. Gerhard Stein, apparently. That's why he's Ninestein. There you go. And he's a bit of a dick most of the time.
So I remember you telling me about this before, that he's the lead character. Yeah. But unlike, say, the Tracy brothers, who are these kind of square-jawed heroes, he's kind of just a bit of a dick.
Yeah, he's just really mean. He doesn't seem to like robots. He's the boss and doesn't give a crap about anything.
And he spends a lot of his time with robots, right? So this is awkward.
And the robots save the day most of the time.
Yes, Sergeant Major. I wanted to see you. Today you disobeyed an order. You started to think for yourself. Well, I've got news for you. You are a machine. You are nothing. You are zero. You are absolute zero. Zilch. Get it?
Doctor.
Don't doctor me. In future, if I say jump, you jump.
His catchphrase is "Flaming Thunderbolts."
Itself amazing.
Flaming Thunderbolts.
Didn't expect you, sir.
That's obvious. What do you think you're playing at, Zero?
I was playing your video game, sir.
Get out of there.
What's the matter?
I come in here and what do I find? Zero's playing my game.
But if he is killed, he can be replaced within 24 hours, but only 9 times, presumably.
Well, so he's the 9th.
He is the 9th
Right.
clone.
So he's died 8 times.
But it says that he's one of 9, so maybe he's the 9th and they're going backwards.
Well, this is the thing that always bugs me about as well about Captain Scarlet, was this idea that he's they always call him Spectrum's top agent.
Yeah.
And like, if anything, he's Spectrum's worst agent because he dies every single week.
Yeah.
He's terrible. He can't complete a mission without dying, whereas like Captain Blue survives every single week. Captain Blue is amazing.
Bastard.
Yeah, exactly. They're all great. Whereas Captain Scarlet's rubbish and dies every week. So for the sounds, Tiger Ninestein is the same. He's like the top Terrahawks guy, and yet he's died at least 8 times that we know of.
What was that thing you said about Captain Scarlet with the intro? It was not.
Yeah, it's another. I was watching the introduction to Captain Scarlet, which is great if you just watch it in isolation. It's
about
really
4 minutes long.
but it's good. It's really like moody and actually quite dark. But in it, Captain Scarlet's stood in a sort of alleyway, and he gets like shot with a machine gun, and he just stands there and takes it, and then shoots his assailant.
Yeah.
Takes him down with one shot.
Doesn't even move.
That's not how his indestructibility works within the context of the show. If you watch the show, as I say, the idea is he's not really indestructible in the same way that like Superman is, or in the same way that intro would suggest. It's not bullets bounce off him. It's that he's I don't know what you would call it, invincible, I guess.
Right.
So he dies, but then he comes back to life. So
what happens if his head gets blown off or something?
do you know what? It never came up. It never came up. I don't know, because you never see him. It's not like in I don't know, like Torchwood or something, where when Captain Jack, John Barrowman, when he would die, you would actually see him like come back to life.
Okay.
You never really see it. So at the end of every episode, as I recall, Captain Scarlet would just sort of die, and then and that was the end. And then it would cut to
I'm back.
Yeah, it would cut to Cloud Base at the end, and they'd all be like toasting, going, "Well done, Captain Scarlet, you've saved the day again." And he would just be back.
Just send him in, do all the hard stuff, and then he'll be fine.
Well, that's pretty much what they did. They would it'd be like, "Oh, we've got to defuse this bomb. If we can't defuse it, send in Captain Scarlet, because it doesn't matter if he gets blown up." And then, so he's not. Most of the time,
what's that thing? I'd be brave if I was indestructible.
Yeah, well, exactly. This is the thing. If I was Captain Blue, I'd be well pissed off, because he's
doing all the work.
He's like, Captain Scarlet's the best agent. He's the bravest. Of course, he's the bravest. He can't die.
Is it like that long forgotten American sitcom drama Now and Again that we love?
It's a little bit like Now and Again.
Rebuilding, someone dies and then they rebuild.
Well, yeah, because another thing, we're going way off topic here, but it's still Gerry Anderson. We're fine. But the original thing in Captain Scarlet is the original Captain Scarlet gets killed like 10 minutes into the first episode. I never knew that until yesterday. I was baffled by that. And so the Captain Scarlet, who's the lead in the show, is actually a Mr. On duplicate,
right?
Who he gets killed, or they take him down, and then for some reason, it's not really explained in the first episode. For some reason, that brings back the memories of the original Captain Scarlet.
Right.
Again, it's something that's not really addressed in the show. That Captain Blue, who was Captain Scarlet's best mate, he's just sort of happy to muddle along with this duplicate of his best mate, who technically I think did actually kill his best mate, but he's just like,
I don't know if I'm happy with it.
You kind of like him, so it's fine.
Well, anyway, back to Terrahawks. There's also Captain Mary Falconer, who's kind of the on-off girlfriend of Ninestein. She looks like Kirsty Young, if you need a reference for that.
And now, is she quite a prominent sort of heroic character?
Yeah, I guess.
Tiger, be careful down there.
Sure.
She's not as cool as Kate Kestrel, who is part-time pop singer. Her main thing is she's I suppose she's the Beyonce of the group, where she's an internationally famous pop star, but then her secret job is the Hawkwing fighter aircraft pilot.
I'd say she's very much the Hannah Montana of Terrahawks.
Yeah. And the great thing was, every now and then she would just have weird musical interludes where she's just singing.
Alright.
And now live from Attenborough Records, Miss Kate Kestrel!
Can you feel it? The sense of feeling.
then they released a single.
Really? There's a Terrahawks spin-off?
There was a Terrahawks single, but I don't think it really caught on, sadly. See if I can find it.
Who wrote it? Because
we might put this on the website, but that's the puppet Kate Kestrel.
Incredible.
Okay.
It's kind of like a candy floss afro she's got going on there.
It's called SOS, the song was called.
Right.
And that was... on the back cover was the real woman.
Right,
it looks quite similar.
There's just quite... I wonder if she was based on her.
Yeah. Well, it was voiced by Anne Riddler when speaking, or Moya Griffiths for her singing voice.
Right.
But yeah, so the song, I'd love it if this is on YouTube. It is.
Amazing.
I turn my face into the wind. I feel a restless kind of motion in the way she blows. And as the final day begins...
So we've advertised that at the time. Here's Kate Kestrel from Terrahawks, but it's not actually the puppet singing.
It's the actress who doesn't even do her voice. She does the singing voice.
And I think it's such a rarity that we don't even know what number that got to in the chart. So,
are we sure it charted?
Probably not.
I'm just curious as to who wrote that song, because Barry Gray is the guy who did most of the Gerry Anderson music, all the theme tunes and stuff. And then he also wrote some of the songs. I'm pretty sure. I'll check myself. I'm pretty sure he wrote, Marina, Aquamarina from Stingray, and also actually, I'm gonna one of my favourite songs is a song called. There's a really early Gerry Anderson show called Fireball XL5.
Yeah.
Which is not really that well known. It was sort of pre-Thunderbirds, but the end theme is a song called "I Wish I Was a Spaceman," written by Barry Gray, and it's great. It's like a sort of smooth '60s kind of thing. I'll just play a little bit.
I wish I was a spaceman, the fastest guy alive. I'd fly you around the universe in Fireball XL5, way out in space together, conquerors of the sky. My heart would be a fireball, every time I gazed into your starry eyes.
That's enough of that. But
why was that not a hit? Because that sounds like Jerry and the Pacemakers.
Or like Perry Como or something. Yeah. It's great, isn't it? So, and Barry Gray is like a real underrated musical genius.
I don't think it was Barry Gray in this instance.
Well, that's probably why it didn't chart, because his stuff, he not only wrote these great theme tunes, instrumental themes, he wrote these great kind of 60s style crooning songs as well.
Theme if you want look up the discography of
Barry Gray.
Then we got Lieutenant Hawkeye, which is interesting because there's obviously Hawkeye's doing the rounds at the moment in the Avengers.
And there's Hawkeye and MASH as well.
He doesn't look a million miles away from...
Is there a bit of Jeremy Renner about him?
So, better character than Jeremy Renner. Hawkeye, nobody's favourite Avenger.
Yeah.
All right. Stay bright.
And then you got Lieutenant Hero, who is the Asian character.
Right.
And I have to admit... The reason this might not be televised very often is that there's a bit of racial horseplay, shall we say.
A lot of the early Gerry Anderson shows, as with a lot of 60s stuff, has a little bit of mild racism, a little bit of mild sexism. I spoke to I did an interview with Gerry Anderson's son, Jamie Anderson, who's the director of Anderson Entertainment. He's now runs all that and is kind of looking after his father's legacy and producing new stuff. And he was saying to me, one of the most important things when you're doing new versions, like for example on ICV they're doing the new Thunderbirds, is to get rid of the old the slightly dubious racial material that's in some of those old shows.
Because I won't repeat it, but essentially Tiger Ninestein, who we've already established is a bit of a prick, would take the mickey out of Hero's voice at any point.
Oh, like imitate him?
Yeah, and would put R's instead of L's and vice versa.
Oh my god.
Okay. But anyway.
That's probably why I've never seen Terrahawks.
That might be why it's never been repeated. They could cut out those scenes.
It looks like our first 10:30. Exactly. Have a good fright.
And then we got the Zeroids, who were the sort of round robots.
Little spherical robots,
and they're great. Sergeant Major Zero was the leader and voiced by Windsor Davies of Ain't Half Hot Mum fame.
Right, you lot. You know what they say. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Now take up defensive position.
Great character, that.
And something that's interesting there, actually, is that two of the lead characters are are women, and we're talking about how the race thing and then the sexism. But actually, that's quite. I guess it is the 80s. But a lot of the 60s shows, the women were there as like. Sounds weird to say like Totty or Eye Candy, they were puppets. But you know what I mean? I guess
even Penelope.
I guess Lady Penelope's probably the best example. But then you've got like the angels in Captain Scarlet and obviously Marina in Stingray, who is a female character who doesn't speak. She's literally just there for Troy Tempest to purr on. So
but these girls were equal. I mean, they're more prominent than Hawkeye and Hero. So that's something.
Yeah.
But the Zeroids, it was great. The best one was called it was number 18, but Major Zero kept calling him Dix Hewitt, or it's supposed to be D Sweet in French.
Oh, I got you. Right, yeah.
Called him Dix Hewitt, and he had a handlebar moustache. It was great. But yeah, I'm surprised we haven't talked about the intro yet. We should play that, really.
Well, a lot of these Gerry Anderson shows as well, they had like a little, not just the theme tune, but like a little, stand by for action, or anything can happen in the next half hour, and all these kind of cool little intros as well, didn't they?
So here's the Terrahawks one.
Terrahawks, stay on this channel. This is an emergency.
Excellent. Not as long and epic as Captain Scarlet or Thunderbirds, maybe.
No,
but,
very stirring nonetheless.
Yeah, and the thing was, on the VHS tape I had, it started. There's a thing. It must have been a production company, something called Channel 5. Not anything related to the Channel 5 we know now. But it started off with this, and this is just the most awesome sci-fi medley ever. It's only like 18 seconds.
That's amazing. That's like Vangelis. That's like a Blade Runner or something.
But I remember when I used to play that tape, I was like, I'm in for a treat here with this. So music's great, and it was genuinely terrifying at times. You had...
Well, because I don't know much about this show, but there's one of the things I always associate with Terrahawks is the I guess it's the main villain. He's kind of like a witch.
Zelda.
It's Zelda, right?
Yeah, nothing related to the other Zelda that you might know well.
No, the video game.
Yeah,
no,
which totally passed me by. Yeah, she's just this. We can call her Katie Hopkins, I guess. If we keep having people that look like them. She's just really over the top and really sort of guttural and horrible face, and
kind of just like a space witch,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
And it's her and her family are the main villains that are in it throughout, and they're just dicks. They're just not very nice. They're just aliens that keep wanting to conquer Earth.
Yeah.
So, we meet again, clone, but this time in my domain.
And they keep referring to humans as Earth scum, Earth pukes.
Pukes?
Earth pukes. And her voice was Denise Breyer, did it really well.
Right.
And then she had, with her, I thought it was Psy-Star when I'm reading it, but it's Sis-Star. That's actually pronounced as sister.
Yeah.
Zelda's sister, who's just bubbly and silly in comparison. And she just... Her catchphrase was, I don't understand. That was basically it. And then you've got Youngstar, her son, who's just a bit of an idiot.
Like Youngster, obviously, yeah.
And he's just a bit lazy and cowardly.
Mother, don't leave me behind.
And his catchphrase was "Great steaming lava."
This show's got some top-notch catchphrases. Yeah.
But then the weird one was I might not have seen these episodes as much. There was It Star or Goy Bell or Bell Goy.
Right.
since Sistar had never decided what gender this construct would be, so it stars a baby android, but is a clearly schizophrenic hermaphrodite with 2 minds and voices. So fascinating.
Where was this description?
This is Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Wikipedia finds
Yeah.
it as a schizophrenic hermaphrodite.
Apparently, it stars clearly as schizophrenic hermaphrodite with 2 minds and voices. A young girl's voice went innocent, and a male voice went with a German accent when plotting. Fuck me, terrifying.
This is quite in depth for a kid's puppet show.
Yeah, so maybe it didn't really appeal to kids too much. Because it's weird, because it's kind of a kid's show. All the Gerry Anderson shows are, I guess.
They all have that kind of adventure feel that, adults can enjoy, but they're always essentially for kids. And I don't think saying it's a kids show, some people think that's like an insult.
Yeah.
We
forget the kids shows used to be amazing.
Yeah, saying it's a kids show is not in and of itself an insult. So I'll happily say these are kids shows.
And then you got the monsters. I won't go through them all, but there were some classics. They're
like henchmen.
Yeah, so they like Monster of the Week type thing. And my favourite was Shram, who was like a reptile creature. I'll get a picture up for you now.
Yeah.
And he just looked absolutely terrifying, but as soon as he spoke, I'll get that as well.
Right.
He had like the poshest, just feeblest voice ever. It's like, who made that? So we got horrible teeth, massive forehead. It's like a dinosaur type thing.
Yeah, he's like a sort of gnarled, horrible half man, half dinosaur.
And then
I can see that being creepy.
When he talks,
Call your dogs off, Ninestein. Who are you? I am Sram, Lord of Felony. What do you want? You, Ninestein.
He's the Lord of Felony. You don't fuck with him. And then they had other ones. There was, I think it was the Spirilla. It was like it was this guy. He looks like a horrible gorilla type.
I'm not gonna lie, that kind of looks like the same as the last guy with a platinum blonde wig.
I think they just painted him and put a wig on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was pretty terrifying. And there was another one called Yuri. He was just a teddy bear.
Right.
But he would like possess minds and stuff. He would just go like smile, a creepy smile, and look at you. And then it was like terrifying.
That sounds unsettling.
Yeah. So it was.
This is kind of like a similar to sort of Power Rangers format, where you've got your core heroes, you've got your evil witch villainess. This is what I'm saying. Yeah. Power Rangers might have taken some inspiration, and then each week they fight like a different monstrous henchman.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And I have to point out another supporting character who was a DJ or someone who used to work with Kate Kestrel. It was called Stewed Apples.
Of course.
Because they just love that gag, obviously.
Yeah.
Apparently, I read earlier today that they were going to, in Series 4, which never happened, was going to focus more on Kate Kestrel and Stewed Apples. Why? Why focus on him?
You get the feeling they pitched that to the broadcaster.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we should wrap up Terrahawks now if that's the way you're going with the storyline.
Where is the base of the accursed Terrahawks?
The base? Oh, right, yeah, they got a bass player, have they? Oh, yeah, right, okay. Let's see now. Terrahawks. I know. Are they one of those really, amazing new heavy Asian groups, man, yeah?
So how long did Terrahawks actually run then?
So it was on from...
Because I find a lot of these shows, because we watch them as kids and, time when you're a kid seems to go on forever, whereas the older you get, the quicker time goes. Whereas, a lot of these shows only ran for, 12 episodes, and it seems they were on forever.
It was 3 series, 39 episodes.
Okay, so that's quite...
It ran from 83 to 86.
Okay, because that's actually quite extensive, because I'm sure something like... Again, I'm just going to check it here, but I'm... Okay, so Captain Scarlet did run for 32 episodes.
So less than Terrahawks.
Less than Terrahawks, which I think it's fair to say Captain Scarlet is probably better known than Terrahawks.
Yeah.
Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds again, same, only 32.
Really?
32 episodes, ran for 2 series.
You think there'd be at least hundreds of Thunderbirds?
Yeah.
And at the end of every episode, this was great. They always had this weird noughts and crosses game,
right?
Because he had the Zeroids on the goodies side, and then you had they were just called, I think, the Cubes.
Right.
Baddie side.
So this is like a live action knots and crosses.
Yeah, well, it was just this weird while the credits were rolling. I think in case it was back then. Nowadays, you go coming up next, and they'll squeeze the credits and shut up, keep shouting about what's coming up.
Yeah.
Whereas then they just played the credits, and it was really lovely. And part of it, they would just have this noughts and crosses game where you didn't know who was going to win. You know,
Right.
sometimes zeros, one, sometimes the cubes. Kept me entertained. But it is back though. It is already
Terrahawks.
back. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, again, this is where my knowledge comes in because Terrahawks, they've done a series of audio dramas based on it, and it's produced by this company, Big Finish Productions, who I know about because I'm a big Doctor Who fan, and I guess for about 16 years now, actually, Big Finish have been doing these Doctor Who audio dramas, and that's how they kind of came to a lot of people's attention. But since then, they've got a lot of different ranges. They're doing Blake 7 and they're doing a one based on The Prisoner, the old 60s show, The Prisoner.
Nice.
They're doing that, but like the good Patrick McGowan one, not like the shit Jim Caviezel one.
Even forgot he did that.
Yeah, and one of them that they've just started doing is Terrahawks, and they've released like a box set of audio dramas, and they've literally just announced this week as we record this that they're making a second sort of box set series of episodes. So I believe some of the actors from the series.
Yeah, and most of them are the same.
Yes, and some are no longer with us, but I think there's quite a few who are still.
Well, it's good that it's back. I haven't heard any of it yet, unfortunately. I'd love to.
I think the reason they were able to do it was because, as we say, because maybe it is one of the lesser known properties. So Thunderbirds is back on ITV now with this big CGI revamp, Thunderbirds Go. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure ITV kind of own, or a subsidiary of ITV, own all the rights to various, just because, at some point they're going to... Well, they did a Captain Scarlet revamp in the early noughties, which was again CGI. Apparently, I didn't really see much of it. Apparently, it was actually quite good.
Oh, okay.
It just didn't really do very well. They put it on, like, Ministry of Mayhem. Do you remember that? It was like for people who don't remember, it was a kind of early morning entertainment kids show, like along the lines of Live and Kicking and SMTV Live, that kind of thing. Well,
I think that's pretty much everything basic I'd want to cover with Terrahawks.
I feel like I've been given a very basic, beginner's guide to the show. So now my appetite's sort of whetted to delve into the DVDs.
So you would fancy watching it now?
Oh, I was always interested in it. It was just I was always baffled at how I'd completely missed it. But so it's good to have the basics outlined to me before I delve in.
Well, we will leave you with not the whole of it, but there is a 12-inch version, like a remix that they released as a single of this theme tune by Richard Harvey.
Excellent.
So we'll leave you with that. But thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back for next time with a new thing to cover, which will be...
I will be educating Tom next episode on Thundercats.
Yeah,
so
everyone's favourite cartoon apart from mine, apparently. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Ready for liftoff?
Stand by for liftoff.